In this video I'm gonna cover 7th grade square root. So let's say you have to do a square root of a 9. So a square root of 9 is 3, and it's same two number. If you multiply, it gives you a number. If you square that number, you go back to the original number before you square it. So square root of 9 is 3. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. Then if you square the 9, it will be a 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, right? So if you square it, you get 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So if, let's say, if you do the square root of 100 is 10, because we know 10 times 10 is 100. So why? Because 10 to the power of 2 is 100, and 10 times 10 is also 100. So if you square the 100, you will get 10, right? So this is how it works. 10 times 10 is 100. If I square it, I go back to the before I square it, you go back to the 10. If you square the 100, you get 10. Why? Because you are squaring 100, and the number that you multiply to the, the two number that you multiply that gives you 100 is a 10. So square root is for all about what gives you that number. For example, if you have 20 to the power of 2 is 400. So if I square it, the 400, so I will get the 20 back, 20 before I square it. So if you square root 400, you get 20. Why? Because 20 times 20 times 20 gives you 400. So any two number you multiply, whatever that number gives you, if you square it, you go back to the original number before you square it. What about the 1? What is the square root of 1? If you square 1, means 1 times 1, right? If you square it 1, is 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So anytime you square 1, you just get back to the 1. You square it 1, you get back to the 1. How about 144 is 12? Why? Because 12 times 12 is 144, right? What about 8? What will give it you a square root? If you square any number that gives you 8, that's the question. You square it, what number is supposed to be goes inside the square root? So if you square that number, that will give you a 8. Which number will be that? How about 8 times 8? 64. Or 8 to the power of 2 is 64. So basically 64 will go here. What about 280? Square root of 280. 17 times 17 is square root of 279. 17 times 17 times 17 will give you 289. If you square again, you back to the original number 17. So because 17 times 17 is 289, right? So if you square it, you go back to 17. 225 is 15. 15 times 15 is 225. So square root is basically like that. What about 169? 13 times 13 will give you 169. So if you square 169, the answer is 13. So which number is square root of 4? Is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So square root is all about that. You giving the power of that number, you will get number. If you square it, you get back before you give to the power of the number, right? 20 to the power of 2. 20 if you take that power out, so that means you square the 400, you got 20. And then go back to the square root. Before you square it, you have to multiply 20. 20 times 20 is 400. 20 times 20 is 400. Square root of 400, back to the 20. This is a square root for a 7th grade, before 8th grade.